As the titanium hull creaked under the crushing pressure, Commander Isaac Ice Chambers gripped the controls of the Nereid Explorer, humanity's first dive craft designed to probe the hidden oceans of Europa. The beam of the floodlight barely pierced the inky darkness, casting eerie shadows that flickered in the cold alien waters. With every meter they descended, the temperature dropped, and an unnatural quiet enveloped the vessel, a silence punctuated only by the faint hum of the life support systems. The scientists on board had warned of finding something extraordinary, but no one had expected anything like this. "Everyone ready?" Isaac's voice was calm, steady, a practiced front for the fear bubbling beneath the surface. He glanced over at his team. They were the best Earth had to offer, though now in the depths of a foreign sea, he wondered if even the best would be enough. Dr. Mark Ryder, a marine biologist and deep-sea specialist, adjusted his instruments with a practiced hand. "Systems are reading. Hold on," he said, eyes wide as he monitored the scanner. "I'm getting biosignatures, massive clusters up ahead." Beside him, Eric Sonnerberg, a sonar engineer and the Nereid's navigator, tapped his screen, frowning. "Nothing I'm seeing matches any Earth-based aquatic life. These things are big, but there's no clear reading of their structure. It's like they're shifting." Isaac leaned forward. "Eyes open, everyone. We're the first to see this. No mistakes." The Nereid Explorer descended further, breaking through layers of sediment and ice particles, finally reaching the bed of Europa's hidden ocean. Tendrils of bioluminescent plankton drifted past, casting an eerie, ethereal glow that danced through the water. It was both beautiful and unsettling, like a night sky come to life. Picking up more biosignatures to portside, 300 meters, sonar announced. "They're moving in coordinated patterns almost like a school of fish, but on a much larger scale." Dr. Ryder squinted at the monitor, disbelief etched into his face. "These patterns, it's not random. It's intelligent, maybe even curious." Isaac's grip on the control tightened. "Let's get a closer look." The Nereid drifted closer, and soon dark shapes materialized out of the blackness, shimmering like liquid shadows. They were massive fluid creatures with elongated bodies and translucent gelatinous skin. They lacked any familiar features: no eyes, no mouth, no defined limbs, but they moved with an intelligence that defied reason, circling the craft in perfect synchrony. What are they?" Eric whispered, awe and fear mingling in his voice. Dr. Ryder didn't answer, his gaze fixed on the strange lifeforms. "They're indescribable. Nothing in Earth's biology could prepare us for this. They seem to be observing us." One of the creatures drifted closer, its massive form looming over the Nereid. A strange, undulating pulse emanated from its body, sending ripples through the water that made the craft shudder. Suddenly, the lights on the Nereid flickered, the system struggling as the creature released a low, resonant hum that resonated through the hull. "Power levels dropping," Eric shouted. "It's interfering with our systems." Isaac acted fast. "Brace for evasive maneuvers." As he initiated a hard turn, a blinding flash burst from the creature's body, filling the cabin with an overwhelming wave of white light. When the light faded, the creature was gone, but the air inside the cabin felt charged, humming with an alien energy that defied explanation. "What was that?" Isaac asked, barely able to keep the fear from his voice. Dr. Ryder was pale. "It communicated in some way. It was as if it was showing us something. I saw shapes, colors, but nothing I could make sense of. It was like trying to comprehend another dimension." The Nereid continued its exploration, but the team couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. Shadows moved just beyond the reach of their lights, and strange pulses of sound echoed through the dark waters. Suddenly, the sonar screen lit up with more contacts. "They're back," Eric muttered. "And there are more of them. A lot more." Before Isaac could react, a swarm of creatures surrounded the Nereid, moving as one. The cabin was filled with their hum, a sound so deep it reverberated in their bones, freezing them in place. The creatures didn't attack, but they pressed close, their bodies undulating in a hypnotic dance. Slowly, they began to circle the Nereid, creating a shimmering vortex of light and shadow that made it impossible to see beyond the immediate area. "They're hurting us," Dr. Ryder whispered, horror dawning in his eyes. "We're not the hunters here. We're the prey." Isaac's instincts kicked in. "Get us out, sonar now." Eric hammered the controls, but the Nereid wouldn't budge. It was as if some invisible force was holding them in place, the creature's undulating pulses merging into a single, resonant frequency that vibrated through the hull, locking them in. "We're trapped," Eric said, his voice barely a whisper. With their options dwindling, Isaac activated the emergency beacon, sending a distress signal back to the Europa surface base. "This is Commander Chambers of the Nereid Explorer. We are under threat. Biosignatures are unknown, hostile there." Before he could finish, the humming stopped, and the creatures parted, creating a path through the dark water. In the distance, something stirred, something much larger than any of the creatures they had seen. It was as if the ocean itself had shifted, and out of the darkness emerged an impossibly vast shape, like a living mountain. It was the Alpha, a creature so massive it defied belief, a leviathan of the depths, covered in phosphorescent patterns that pulsed with an otherworldly light. Its body undulated with a slow, rhythmic movement, each pulse sending waves through the water that felt like the heartbeat of the ocean itself. Dr. Ryder was shaking. This creature, it's the source, the guardian, the ruler of this ocean. The Alpha regarded the Nereid with an intelligence far beyond anything they had encountered. It extended a massive, translucent appendage toward the craft, and the hull began to glow, as if resonating with its touch. "It's trying to communicate," Dr. Ryder said, awestruck. The cabin filled with images, visions of the ocean floor, bioluminescent forests, towering coral structures, and other creatures that defied description. It was a silent warning, a message beyond words, a reminder that this ocean was not theirs to explore or conquer. As the Alpha withdrew, the Nereid jolted, released from the invisible grip holding it in place. The smaller creatures retreated, clearing a path back toward the surface, as if granting them one final chance to leave. "We're free," Eric stammered, his hands shaking on the controls. Isaac wasted no time. "Full power to ascent. Let's get out of here." The Nereid surged upward, racing toward the surface. But as they climbed, the ocean around them grew darker, colder. The creatures were gone, but the presence of the Alpha lingered in their minds, a silent promise that they would never forget this encounter. Just as they reached the ice ceiling, the sonar detected movement below, an entire swarm of creatures, following them to the edge, escorting them out of their domain. In one final haunting moment, the Alpha's luminescent form appeared in the distance, watching as they disappeared into the light above. As the Nereid broke through the ice and returned to the surface, Isaac, Dr. Ryder, and Eric sat in stunned silence, the weight of what they had witnessed settling over them. They had seen wonders, touched a mystery beyond comprehension, but one thing was clear: Europa's oceans were not humanity's playground. Isaac's voice was barely a whisper as he looked out at the frozen landscape stretching into the distance. "This is only the beginning." Back on Earth, the story of the Nereid Explorer's encounter would spark debates, inspire expeditions, and fuel countless theories. But no matter how many scientists or explorers set out to uncover Europa's secrets, one truth would always remain: that some mysteries are best left undisturbed, and some realms belong only to their ancient, alien guardians.